Alright, got the floorboard in, and I think I'm probably going to take all the cowl skins off again to work on it. Next step is to put the rudder pedals back in, and if you remember, I had these kind of squeaky rudder pedals, so I think before I finalize this I'm going to take them apart and spray a little bit of Corrosion X inside there. Hopefully that'll eliminate the squeaking and any potential corrosion. Once again, the cowl skins are off, and so is the firewall. Made it easier just to put all this in. Very happy. They're all nice and quiet now. I put my little gasket here in there, and I'd already prevented the tips from when I cut the cotter pins from falling in there. So real happy with that. I torqued these to a I want to say like 15 foot-pounds. Very light. Battery depleted. But yeah, so I torqued those things down, and now we're gonna do the fittings. Alright, got all my bulkhead, the 90s in. Pretty easy if you're looking at it like this, because you can look at it like that. Next step is to put all of the lines on, and it doesn't really describe it where it tells you here's in the parts manual. All these lines come in a bag basically, and they're labeled with the different lengths, and it's in order. So from the reservoir to the bulkhead T. So basically what I did is I just wrote the sizes on here, and that should simplify it. Got them all on. This had to be drilled out to 7/16, yeah, a little bit less than a half an inch. And I obviously still have to drill the firewall. I'm struggling a little bit with how this works. The hoses all seem, I don't know, messy. I did end up changing the angle of these a little bit. They were like perfectly perpendicular before. I angled them down a little bit just to try and take some of the tension off of it. I'm almost thinking a longer line that goes to this side and then a longer line that goes to this side might do the trick. I did these 15-inch lines, or yeah, I believe these are 15-inch going to the parking brake, and these are 9-inch. These are a tad bit too long, but I think maybe like a 12 or 14-inch, 13-inch would work good here. I don't know if anybody's done that, but I'd be curious to see what you think. Also, if you don't have this tightened, this will like swivel, so it puts a lot of tension on it. And you can kind of see the hoses. If you don't tighten these, they kind of turn. Not real happy with that, but I guess if it works, it works. Then, what else? Yeah, I'm gonna play with that tomorrow, but I've been on this thing all day, so I'm going to bed. Good night. Yeah, that going to bed thing's always tough when you got brake lines on your mind. But one thought was, they look messy, especially when you're looking from the other side down into, you know, a dark footwell, and you have these silver lines kind of going all over the place. So I just put some of that expander that we use for the wiring. I cut those and I put it on there, and it literally pulls right off for servicing, or if you got a check for leaks or tighten them or whatever. So I think I might try that, at least if the carpet's black, the firewall's black, you know, the nice pedals are silver, and everything else kind of just blends in. You don't see them, might not bother me as much. And it'll give it a little more protection. Aha, one of the fittings is 45. I don't know why, I just walked out today and that's like the first thing I saw. So I'm changing this guy for a 45. All right, 45 it is. I gotta be honest with you, I don't know why. Because if you look, I know you're probably not gonna push the pedals that far, but the way it bends up and the way it bends down, I thought a 90 actually fit better. Probably don't have a 90 left over, but yeah, look, it gets close to the wheel. I did wire ties these together, but I've seen other people do that as well. Then I went and I put these guys on. That was rewarding. These 45s are hard to get a wrench on though. It's like 7/16 and an 11 mil will fit. But I actually had the best luck with these flat tooth Nipix pliers, and then just squeeze them, you know, as hard as you can to try and not mar it up. I did mar this one up a little bit, and because it was really tight by the time I got it around to that side, and you can't get a lot of leverage on it. But nothing a little blue magic marker can't take care of. It's funny because the first time I saw S-21 or RANS at Oshkosh, I was drawn to this design of the brake line being inside the landing gear and just how clean it looks. It almost looked like an RC plane because it was so clean. And putting this brake line into this milled cutout has got to be one of the most gratifying parts of this job. It just fits so perfectly. You had to, you know, kind of tap it in with some wood around the bend here, but took the landing gear bolt out, ran it on the inside there. I'm gonna kind of see where I think this hole will end up best. I left a little bit. I basically made the 45 so it aims up parallel with this, and then put a little bit of slack down there. Torqued this guy to 120 inch-pounds with a little crowfoot thing, and did the same thing on this side. So that was really nice. Got them all torqued. I saw this, like everything else on YouTube, but somebody had pointed out, and this is really good, I think it's the treetop guy, that makes sense. I don't know if it's true or not, but you have to keep, if you're using one of these, this 90 degrees, so you still get the right torque setting. If you do it this way, you increase the leverage, and I think that kind of messes it up. Now I'm going to put these rivets in. You got the 4 AVIX rivets, and that kind of makes this pretty much permanent. Put some torque seal on there, did I already say that? And then I'm gonna put the firewall back in so I can drill this guy through, put the parking brake in, and take it from there. Time to call it a night. I got the pain in the, oh, not a booty call, the firewall back on. I drilled this guy through, put some blue Loctite on it. I mounted the parking brake from the inside, but I don't like any of this. We continue to not like the brake lines. I ran these lines, but they're way too long, probably for tail dragger. I don't know if I have the wrong ones or if they just send one set. My plan for tomorrow is to make a spacer. I don't have this tight yet, to bring this out like 1/4 of an inch. That should allow me to pivot this a little bit more, or maybe even 1/2 inch. And then I gotta figure out how is the best way to run these lines. I'm almost thinking of taking the left line, which is the shorter line, run it to the right side, and then maybe order a new left line that's the proper length, because this is kind of silly. There's a guy, Steve at Aircraft Specialties, I believe, I've been talking to him, who would be interested in making all new custom lines, but I'm not 100% sure what lengths I would want. And yeah, so kind of going with just the factory ones for now, but not real happy with it. Anyway, good night.